This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
You all ready for this?
This is a sham.
No. Y'all, just stop.
Get real.
Welcome, DBL. Starting off strong, everyone looking fabulous. And you know what, you guys out there? You're looking good too. You really are. I mean it. All right. How many of you dreamed about getting married when you grew up? Anyone in the panel? I did.
You dreamed about it?
Dreamed about it.
I had expectations.
Yes, I said goodnight to a prince every night.
Oh, no, that wasn't me.
Okay, that was me. Okay, got it.
No.
Well, a new survey found I'm
still
insane.
Say goodnight to that same prince?
Yeah, I do. It's Brooksy. A shocking number of young adults think that marriage is an outdated tradition. 2 in 5. And 85% don't think you need to get married to have a fulfilling relationship at all. So why do so many young adults feel that way? 73% say it's too expensive to get married. 72% say they aren't interested. And 47% say they are afraid of getting a divorce. So what do you think, DBL Nation? Is marriage outdated? Or is this what's wrong with America? A lack of family values, which some people really strongly believe is what's changing. We want your take. Go to dblvote.com to weigh in. Jeff, you're our most romantic person on the panel. Could you let us know how you feel about updated marriages now? Tell me your thoughts.
Yeah, I think they're ridiculous, to be perfectly honest with you. I'm a family guy. I love being married. I don't want the two to be conflated. But it's become more of a task than celebrating your love. Even going to a wedding, get real, I'm out. I don't like it. It's if you think about life, seriously, like for a second, if you have $20,000 to spend on a wedding, put that down in a house. Invest in your marriage, invest in yourself. Don't have a party that's gonna take half of your savings, your parents' money that they save for you, and throw it on a party that if you roll the dice 50%, it's not gonna work out. It's becoming more of a business than it is about your love. Focus on your love, and if you have the extra money, then make it about that. But if you don't, invest in your relationship, not to have a party. I have to go there, we all wear the same outfits. Oh, I love you too. All right, I'll never see you in 10 years. Get out of here. You know
Erica,
what I mean?
you were somewhat nodding. Do you agree with his take?
Well, yes, but I'm also coming from a very privileged position because I've experienced marriage and 2 weddings, so I understand the difference. So when I got married the first time, I was 25, and we had this big wedding. Our parents really invested a lot of money into that, the majority of the money into that. And a big part of that, and I speak for myself, but I think it might have been a community thinking, was that a part of the reason why we stayed together for so long is because we had spent so much money on this wedding.
I've heard that before.
And like, how dare you do that? Well, when my husband, who I am married to, we got married, I did not want a wedding. He wanted a wedding because he had never been married before. So there was kind of this give and take. And what ended up happening was we did do a destination wedding because we thought, only people who are really super dedicated to wanting to be there, no pressure to anyone, will help you if you want to come and you can't. And it ended up being like 60 people. So, and that resonated a lot differently than the 300-person thing that we did. So I think a lot of people are saying no to weddings, not necessarily marriage, because if you're talking about marriage financially, marriage is a tax shelter. So you are saving money over the course of your life by being married versus being a single person in the U.S.
That's smart. Al, how do you feel about both?
I remember
Great take.
Marriage is a tax shelter. I'm gonna put that on my wedding card.
It is. There's tax benefits.
You're totally right, but it's
romance blooms.
Yeah, I mean, well, you know, Erica, you kind of got to it right there at the end. What I was thinking about is, you know, we're talking about marriage and what kind of wedding do you want to have, and are you guys in love, and all these kinds of things. And the answer to all of those questions might be, yeah, right now. But in 5 years, 10 years, there's a difference now. We live in an economy where we need 2 incomes for sure, probably 2.5, maybe 3 if we put both of our side hustles together. So this is a financial engagement that you're locking into as well. And the other factor, the X factor that no one can account for, is how many people do you know that best friend in college, best friend growing up in middle school, and now there are some crazy, you know, conspiracy theorists, or they move down to the rainforest and they do yoga now. People change.
The rainforest people, yep.
And if if you attach your cart to that person who was on track to be an investor and now is like doing ayahuasca in Costa Rica or somewhere, like, where does that leave you?
You're really being specific. I feel like
Well, because this has happened a lot.
People,
Like, it has happened a lot.
I feel like you know somebody that went down there.
We know a lot of people.
Yeah, we know a lot of people like
every
this.
YouTube's personality, whatever you call those people, their whole thing is to like, let's shake things up, Jeff. Leave your job, run away and blow it all. You know, and everybody's hurt and broken in their 30s, and they're like, maybe I should be an artist. And then it's all over. But if you're married to that person, it's going to be really bad for you, and it's not fair because we've seen with Kevin Costner, even an ironclad prenup.
Right, can't get you saved.
Which is, I'm still confused about.
I know.
That's a whole different
It
story.
is, because she's getting more.
She got more.
Yeah.
And he had a prenup.
Well, it wasn't ironclad, was it?
I'm still confused.
I know.
Bring us some romance, Tori.
Let me just say this. In my mind, the reason is this. No one's getting paid enough. There's no way you can afford it. I'm just going to put my hand. This is all it is. If there was money coming in and a livable wage, I bet you there would be romance. I'm not going to stop. You pay us livable wages, and I'm not talking about me, and then you can afford to have things. But right now, people barely can live alone. Am I done with this?
No,
that's what it is.
Very
it's
true.
Money.
The money is a huge component.
Thank you. Thank you.
Huge component.
All right, what's the
Wouldn't
poll
you say that's
say?
what most fights are over?
Yes, absolutely.
It's prohibitive. It's prohibitive now.
It's the idea of there being two. Like when you're saying one person up and decides that they're going to change their entire lives, like that now you have two people who don't necessarily have a foundation, neither one of them.
That's right.
So it's very difficult to start on that path because you don't have that type of structure.
That's right. It's outdated because we're broke. Let's talk about is marriage outdated? No. So totally different from what I said. 64% of you said that's good. You have romance. Yes, 36% of you. Interesting. Real quick, speaking of marriage, a mom on TikTok is calling out a parenting double standard. She said her husband was complimented by strangers for doing, quote, the bare minimum. Watch.
My husband just got home from the grocery store. He took both boys, they're 1 and 2. 3 people stopped him to tell him what a great dad he was for taking them to the store. Do you know how many times I've taken both of my kids to the grocery store, to literally everywhere? A million. How many people have stopped me to say I'm a great mom?
Is this true? I'm speaking to
Maybe she's not doing as good a job as
Yeah.
We're going to leave it on that.
Enough said. Enough said.
Let's just say that was satire, and then I say compliments to that mother. Coming up on DBL. Also, our interview with the author of A Woman's Guide to Claiming Space. She's explaining why she thinks the new Barbie movie is a lesson in female empowerment. And there is a lot of questions about the Alabama woman who was reported missing after calling 911 about a child on the interstate. Did she fake her own abduction? Stay tuned. We've got info.
DBL. This show is amazing.
There's a lot going on down here.
I would have been part of the Mile High Club.
Yeah.
So on point. But I'm going to have a conversation about what's happening now.
Okay, what do you really feel? Because you can't mean that.
You know, I was really, we didn't have a ton of time
We
to
had 10
talk about
seconds.
it, but when I went to the baseball game on Monday, and when we were leaving the game, there was there's a big kind of let out, obviously, and there was a dad on his, like on one knee, young Hispanic cat, just like doing the buttons on his daughter's jersey. She was probably 2, so cute.
So cute.
And I looked at him and I go, nice job, Dad. You know, but I was like,
But then did you think?
but it's also, we are redefining generation by generation. We're kind of the first ones. We're like, men hug their kids. We might be the first, me and Jeff might be the first generation of dads that like have cried in front of our kids.
Like regularly, yeah.
Regularly or at all. I think you could meet a lot of people like, my dad never told me he loved me.
Oh, yeah.
I know he did, but like that generation of men weren't allowed to emote. So I think that when we see things that are new,
Yeah.
we tend to be like, hey, good for you. Almost like, I'm sure, like when people started recycling in 1989, they're like, oh, you put it in the blue trash can.
Yeah, good for you.
You know, but I don't think you'd see that as much now. Oh, thank you.
That took forever.
It's so interesting. I think someone else wrote here about babysitting when they say dads are not babysitting either whenever they're watching their kids and their mom's alone. They're being a father. But you're absolutely right. If I'm open and honest and flexible, the historical context of it is like
That was me, not you.
it is new, but imagine how it makes like the mom feel. I guess I just was,
I'm sure it makes her feel like thought of as nothing, as like just doing your duty.
and I bet they were hitting on the dad. I totally think they were hitting on the
You
dad.
think so?
Completely.
Like that was all three of
Yes.
women hitting on the dad. Let's be
By the way,
That's
she
like-
never said
that's
it was
a-
women. She just said people.
Yeah, but we know.
Welcome back to DBL. There is a big update in the case of 25-year-old Carlee Russell. If you remember, she's the woman who went missing for 48 hours last week after she pulled over on an Alabama interstate, telling 911 she saw a toddler on the side of the road. Here's the video of her pulling over. Police say they, quote, have been unable to verify most of her statements, both about the child and her abduction, but police also said they have learned a few new details, including some of her search history on her phone, like, quote, do you have to pay for an Amber Alert, as well as the maximum age for an Amber Alert. She also searched for the movie Taken with Liam Neeson, which is, of course, all about an abduction. What do we make of this? What do we think that happened to Carlee? We don't have a ton of time. Does someone want to jump in? Erica, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just going to jump in because I made a statement a couple days ago about not knowing what happened to Carlee. Obviously, we know more than we did a couple days ago, and I'm not going to sit here and defend anyone who gives false statements to the police. I'm not saying clearly that's not what happened in this case. She didn't give the false statements, but the idea that this could be something that could have been orchestrated and was not what it appeared to be, which was a missing persons case, is very alarming. I am not going to sit here and condemn someone who clearly is having some type of potential mental health crisis, but at the same time, I'm going to walk this line because we have organizations like Black and Missing where Derica and Natalie Wilson go out of their way because Black and brown crimes and being kidnapped and taken and missing are so underreported in this country. It is so important that people take these things seriously and that nothing's taken away from that. In addition, we have Angela Harris, who's speaking out. She's the daughter of Anaya Blanchard, who was missing in October 2019. Anaya was kidnapped and murdered, and her mother was the first to respond to lead the charge to look for Carlee. She has spoken out to say, do not say just because there may not be a boogeyman to point your finger at in this case that the boogeyman does not exist. It is very important that we all stay vigilant. It is very important that we are very honest about all of the dangers from very young children to our adult children. These conversations are important to have, and that's what I'm going to focus on. That's just all I can focus on.
That's a fair statement. Did anyone, Allie, do you have a response?
I just think,
just shaking her head.
the bigger point is just that maybe we shouldn't be announcing things until there's been some kind of investigation. Whatever.
But you can't.
What I guess, yeah. In the case of a missing persons, it's very
Like it's so urgent. Like
Right. The first
and I mean,
48?
honestly, my first thing when we first covered this story, I was just like, this just don't sound right, man. You know, and obviously I don't want her to be kidnapped, and I don't ever want to accuse anybody of, doing something this nefarious. So I don't know. It's just sad. But it seems like there's a little premeditation with the searches, so I don't know.
Interesting. We will update you, of course, when we learn more. We'll be right back.
Dermatologists and healthcare professionals have long touted sunscreen as an effective way to keep the sun's rays from causing skin damage that could ultimately become cancerous. But we've also heard concerns from people who are worried about the ingredients in the sunscreen itself. Does sunscreen contain cancer-causing ingredients? We turn to the sources listed here to verify. In one high-profile instance, yes, by accident. In 2021, several Johnson & Johnson sunscreen products were recalled after they were found to contain traces of the carcinogen benzene, which the manufacturer says is not a sunscreen ingredient. On store shelves, you'll see two main types of sunscreen, chemical and physical. American Academy of Dermatology Association defines a chemical sunscreen as one that absorbs the sun's rays using chemicals like oxybenzone, and a physical sunscreen is one that deflects the sun rays with minerals like titanium dioxide or zinc oxide. Much of the concern of sunscreen safety comes from research published in the last few years, finding the body can absorb ingredients in chemical sunscreen. Something applied topically can be found in the bloodstream days, even weeks later. Most chemical sunscreens include at least one of these common ingredients, according to the American Society of Clinical Oncology, that haven't been studied closely enough to be fully determined safe. The Environmental Working Group specifically recommends against using sunscreens containing oxybenzone, a potential hormone disruptor. However, Dr. Allison Larson explains the evidence supporting sunscreen's role in preventing cancer outweighs the known risk from absorbing chemicals.
If that's a concern, use a physical sunscreen. They simply stay as a layer outside the skin. And these are the sunscreens that used to be the very pasty white. It's totally different these days.
You can also minimize sun damage by wearing a hat and sun protective clothing and keeping out of the sun during the midday hours when its rays are strongest, and lathering on sunscreen is most important. With your Verify, I'm Abby Larico.
Welcome back to DBL. Eliza Van Court is an author and a motivational speaker who wants to make sure every woman feels empowered to take up space. Earlier, we spoke with her about the controversy surrounding the new Barbie movie. Check it out and take up some space. Please welcome Eliza Van Court to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely.
I'm really excited to be here.
Absolutely.
Eliza, we're excited to have you. I don't know if you were listening, but I'm sure you heard the wife of Representative Matt Gaetz called for a boycott over the Barbie movie for its disappointing feminine empowerment. This is so ridiculous. I'm sorry you have to live through this. And lack of faith in family. What do you think of this comment on a Barbie movie?
I find it to be so hilarious. I just don't even know what to do with myself. I mean, first of all, Barbie has never said she has any kind of faith at all. She was actually founded by a Jewish woman.
Amen.
I think they're talking about Christian faith. So, But secondly, I mean, Barbie is a single woman who's lived off and on unmarried with Ken, besides her other boyfriends, Blaine, Kevin, and Derek or something like that, for years. You know, she got a house when it was not even, women could not get a house without having a man co-sign a loan, but Barbie was like vibing as a single woman in her dream house. So like Barbie's always been about Barbie. Barbie hasn't been about faith and family. It's kind of like saying, why don't the Cabbage Patch Kids worry more about their careers? It just makes literally no sense.
I've often thought about the Cabbage Patch Kids that way. No,
Lazy.
Why do you think the new Barbie movie will actually empower women?
Well, I mean, Barbie didn't start out with a great history, right? Barbie was a very thin slice of womanhood. Some women were like, I set my Barbie on fire. I hated Barbie.
That's what I did.
Other women said, you know, Barbie allowed me to dream and be whoever I wanted to be. And really, as Barbie has progressed, she's gone from a very thin, blonde, tall, blue-eyed white woman, which, you know, I never related to her. I could never be that, to all of these different skin tones and body shapes and races, and it's wonderful. So I think representation is so important. Seeing yourself, seeing what could be is so important. And I really do believe that when women like me go into the theater, we're going to be a little healed seeing that there are different kinds of Barbies now. And when younger women go in, they're going to look at all those Barbies, because there are 6 different Barbies in the movie, and they're all different, and say, oh, that could be me.
I want to ask you, what does empowerment mean to you?
Well, I think empowerment is twofold. First of all, empowerment has to involve uplifting other women, period. I mean, you can't make yourself bigger if you're making another human being smaller.
Say it again for the
that
people
was
in the back.
amazing.
You know, you just can't. And secondly, it involves choice. It involves choice over your body, over your career, over who you love, over everything. And empowerment and choice, those are really the two things. And I think what's been really interesting about this whole Barbie journey for me is seeing how femininity now is being embraced, that people are saying, you know what, you can be as feminine as you want to be, you're still smart, you still have wisdom, you can be president. And I think for a long time, feminine meant kind of airheaded and not too smart. And so we're sort of reclaiming that femininity now as well.
First of all, shout out, you have this great book. You wrote a book about claiming your space. What led you to write this book?
It was a long road. My mother, when I was 4.5, became paranoid schizophrenic. And she kidnapped me 3 times. And one of the times we went across the country by truck, from truck stop to truck stop to truck stop, from New York to California. And what happened on that trip made me start to conflate invisibility with safety. I thought if I can just be small enough, then I'm going to be safe. And of course, being invisible isn't safe. It's deeply dangerous. In 2013, I was riding my bike and somebody was texting and driving and they hit me with their car. I lost my ability to communicate and I had to rebuild my communication brick by brick. And that process made me really have to observe human behavior. And what I saw was there was this one kind of woman who would walk in a room and be really empowered. And I wanted to know what that one thing was that she had that made her so powerful. And I realized, like in life, there's never one simple answer. There were really 5 things that made a woman empowered. And those 5 things formed the backbone of my book about claiming space, which is to live the life of your choosing unapologetically and bravely.
Wow, that's unbelievable. Thank you so much, Eliza. DBL Nation, pick up a copy of A Woman's Guide to Claiming Space. Stand tall, raise your voice, be heard. It is named Maria Shriver's Book of the Week through ElizaVanCourt.com or wherever books are sold. Thank you again, Eliza. You are hysterical and inspirational. We'll be right back. Thank you.
Aspartame is an artificial sweetener found in tons of food and beverages like chewing gum and diet soda. It's been around for decades, but now people are questioning if it's safe after a major health agency placed it on a list of cancer-causing agents. But others say there's more to the story and that the same list also contains pickled vegetables and aloe vera. So let's verify. Did the World Health Organization say aspartame is as likely to cause cancer as pickled vegetables? Our sources are the WHO as well as the FDA. The WHO actively reviews hundreds of substances for their cancer risk. They pick a substance, look at the existing scientific studies on it, and then place it in one of 4 groups. Group 1, sufficient evidence it causes cancer in people. 2A, probably carcinogenic, meaning there's limited evidence in humans, but sufficient evidence in animals that the substance is cancer-causing. 2B, possibly carcinogenic, which means limited evidence in both humans and animals. And group 3, not classifiable, meaning inadequate evidence the substance is carcinogenic in either humans or animals. The agency recently evaluated aspartame and assigned it to group 2B, possibly carcinogenic. Other substances in that category do in fact include aloe vera whole leaf extract and traditional Asian pickled vegetables. But they also include some pretty dangerous substances like lead and gasoline. So how can that be possible? Well, these categories aren't a ranking of how carcinogenic or dangerous a substance is. It's simply a grading of how scientifically confident the WHO is that the substance causes cancer at all. And in the case of aspartame, they aren't all that confident. In their announcement, they said there was, quote, limited evidence of aspartame causing cancer in people. And they kept their acceptable amount of daily consumption the same, 40 milligrams per kilogram of body weight. That equals about 16 cans of Diet Coke a day for a 175-pound person. So we can verify, yes, the World Health Organization says aspartame is as likely to cause cancer as pickled vegetables. The FDA affirmed this new classification isn't cause for alarm. In fact, it went so far as to say it disagreed with the decision, citing, quote, significant shortcomings in the research the WHO used. With your Verify, I'm Casey Decker.
As you try to get rich quick, be careful because scammers may be trying to get rich off of you. Let's verify. Are there lottery scams around large jackpots like the one in Powerball? Our sources are Mega Millions, Powerball, the Better Business Bureau, and the Federal Trade Commission. Scammers have a history of targeting people who play lottery games, including Mega Millions and Powerball. On its website, Mega Millions warns of one particular tactic, a phone call, text, or email informing that you've won and asking for either payment or your personal information to claim the prize. And you don't have to buy a ticket to be scammed. Mega Millions also warns scammers could claim to be past winners looking to share their money in exchange for information. Both Mega Millions and Powerball say they do not reach out to prize winners. The FTC and the Better Business Bureau say signs of a scam include being asked for personal information or to send money to pay fees or taxes on the prize. So, yes, there are lottery scams, particularly around large jackpots like Powerball. Our sources recommend contacting your state's Attorney General and the FTC if you think you've been scammed. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
Welcome back. We got some great products from our friends at Morning Save. You got to check them out. Steph, I'm so glad you're back. What do you have for us today? So good to see you.
Hey, Tori. Hi, DBL Nation. It's been a minute, hasn't it?
know.
But I'm back and I'm ready to shop as ever. My favourite thing to do. Check out what I've got today. So first up, I've got the Aduro OmniHub Universal Charging Station. So this deal includes one charging station. We've got it available in 4 colours. We've got white, black, blue and pink. So normally it's $80, but we've got it for just $20.
Oh.
Now that is saving you guys 75%. Now next up, we have got the 6-pack Fortessa shatter-resistant outdoor glasses.
Ooh.
So this deal will include 6 glasses available in 4 styles. So we've got red wine, white wine, iced tea and tumblers.
Cute.
And these styles are available in the 2 colours. We've got gorgeous blue and bright yellow. But normally this is $72. But we've got this 6-pack for just $17.99, so that's saving 75%. Next up today, we've got the Flippo large and small battery storage case bundle. So this deal includes 1 small case, 1 large case, and 2 battery testers. So these cases are available in 3 colours: black, leopard and grey. So normally this is $55.
Okay.
But we've got it for just $14.99, and that's saving up to 73%. Now this is my favourite thing today because, as we all know, I love anything sparkly.
Sparkly.
And it's the Diamond Muse 1 carat TW Real Diamond XO bracelet. So this deal includes 1 diamond bracelet with a gift box. So the bracelet is available in white gold plated and rose gold plated over sterling silver.
Beautiful.
So normally they are $499, but we've got it for just $99. So that's saving up to 80%.
Ooh, head on over to morningsave.com to snag these amazing deals at the lowest prices, or you can just scan that QR code right on screen. It will take you directly to these products on Morning Save's website. Steph, so good to see you back. Before we go, one very lucky person in California woke up this morning a whole lot richer. The winning ticket for the $1 billion Powerball drawing last night was sold at this downtown LA mini market. The prize is a lump sum cash payout of $558 million. Just so you know, the owner of the store gets $1 million, and he said he's going to what, Kelly?
He's going to take his family on vacation.
Take his family on vacation.
Well, I'm glad we had that hard-hitting news. Yeah, I think that's great. Guys, guess what? They're gonna go on vacation with $1 million.
They might buy something nice as well. I don't
Thank you
know.
for watching. Bye, guys.